Welcome to this brief guide on how to add leading zeros in Excel. If you've ever been annoyed by Excel automatically stripping away those important leading zeros from your numbers, like when you're dealing with product codes, account numbers, or even just trying to make your data look consistent, then you're in the right place. Today, I'm going to show you how Excel can be your best friend in conquering these leading zero struggles. We'll cover multiple techniques to add those crucial leading zeros, from simple formatting tricks to using a powerful function, and even a quick trick for individual entries. So let's dive in and get your Excel data looking exactly how you want it. Our first method is the most straightforward and widely applicable, especially when you want to change how your numbers appear without changing the actual data itself. We're going to use the Format Cells option. This is perfect for when you want your numbers to look like they have leading zeros for display purposes, like in a report or when presenting data. To get started, first you need to select the cells that contain the numbers you want to add these leading zeros to. Once you've selected them, you can click and drag your mouse over the range, go ahead and right-click anywhere within this selected area. This will bring up a context menu with a list of actions that you can take with these cells. Look for the option that says Format Cells and give that a click. This action opens the Format Cells dialog box. As you can see, there are several tabs here that allow you to control various aspects of how your data is displayed. For adding leading zeros, we need to make sure we're on the very first tab, which is labeled Number. If it's not already selected, go ahead and click on it now. Now on the left-hand side, you'll see a list of different categories for number formatting. We're going to scroll all the way down this list until we find Custom. Go ahead and select that. This category allows us to define our own specific format for how numbers in these cells will be displayed. Over on the right, under the Sample Preview, you'll find the Type field. This is where we tell Excel exactly how we want our numbers to look. To add leading zeros, we use the digit 0 as a placeholder. Each 0 that you enter here represents a digit in your final number. For example, if you want all your numbers to be displayed as a total of 5 digits, including any leading zeros, you would simply type 00000 into this field. If you needed 3 digits, you would type 000 and so on. Think of these zeros as slots that Excel will fill, and if your number doesn't have enough digits, it will automatically add the leading zeros. Now keep an eye on the sample box right above the Type field. As you enter your format code, you'll see a live preview of how your selected numbers will look with this formatting applied. This is a great way to double check that you've entered the correct number of zeros. Once you're happy with the preview, simply click the OK button at the bottom of the dialog box to apply this custom format to your selected cells. And just like that, you can see that the numbers in your selected cells now have the leading zeros exactly as you specified. But you'll notice that even though the display has changed, for instance the number 1 now shows as 00001, if you select one of these cells, you'll see in the formula bar at the top that the actual underlying value is still just 1. This is really important to understand. We've only changed how the number looks, not the number itself. This can be very useful when you need the leading zeros for visual presentation, but still need to perform calculations on the original numerical values. Here's a practical example though. Imagine you have a list of product codes. Without leading zeros, if you try to sort them alphabetically or numerically, you might get an unexpected order, like 1 coming directly before 10. By formatting these product codes with the same number of digits using leading zeros, say if all the codes should be 5 digits long, Excel will now sort them correctly in numerical order, making your data much easier to manage and understand. Our second method gives you even more control over how your numbers are formatted, and that's by using the powerful text function. Unlike the format cells method, which only changes the display, the text function actually converts your number into a text string with the specific formatting that you define. This is particularly useful when you need to combine your numbers with other text in a formula, or when you want to create a new column that explicitly contains the formatted values as text. To use the text function, first you'll want to select an empty cell, usually in a column next to your original numbers. We're going to build our formula here. Now remember, every Excel formula begins with an equal sign, so type in equals. Then start typing the name of the function, which is text. As you type, Excel's helpful autocomplete feature might suggest this function to you. Once you see text appear, you can either continue typing the opening parentheses or simply select it from the list and press Tab. So now you'll see that we have equals, text, and an open parentheses. Now the text function needs some information from us in order to work. The first piece of information, or argument, is that it needs the value that we want to format. In our case, this is the original number. So simply click on the first cell in your column that contains the number you want to format. You'll see the cell reference here, like A1 or B2, appear within your formula. Next, we need to separate the first argument from the second. We do this by typing a comma. The comma acts as a separator, telling Excel that we're now moving on to the next piece of information that the text function requires. The second argument is the format code, and it's crucial that you enclose this format code with quotation marks. This tells Excel that we're providing a specific text pattern for how we want our number to be displayed. And just like in the format cells method, we use zeros as placeholders for the total number of digits that we want. So if you want your number to always have 5 digits, including leading zeros, you would type that quotation mark and then your 5 zeros and then another quotation mark, just like this. Now remember, those quotation marks are essential. Without them, Excel won't understand that you're providing it a text format. Alright, we've provided all the necessary information now to the text function. To complete the formula, just type a closing parentheses and then press the Enter key on your keyboard. You should now see the formatted number, complete with the leading zeros, appearing in the cell where you entered the formula. Now, if you have more numbers in your original column, you don't have to type this formula for each one. Simply select the cell where you first entered the formula, and you'll notice a small square at the bottom right corner of the selection. This is called the fill handle. Click on this fill handle, hold your mouse down and drag it down over the other cells in your column next to your original numbers. When you release the button, Excel will automatically copy the formula down, and you'll see all your numbers now formatted with the leading zeros in this new column. You could also just simply double-click on the fill handle to complete the entire column. A fantastic way to use the text function is when you need to combine your formatted number with text in another formula. For example, you might want to create labels that say something like product ID followed by your formatted number. You could do this by using the ampersand symbol to join text strings and the result of your text function. So, if your original number was in cell A1, you could have a formula like equals product code and text A1 5 zeros to get product code 00001. Another very practical application is when you need to create a separate column of consistently formatted IDs, especially if you're going to use these IDs in functions like VLOOKUP or index and match to find related information in other parts of your spreadsheet. Because the text function explicitly creates a text string, it ensures that your IDs are in the correct format for these types of lookups, which often require an exact match. For our third method, we have a super quick and easy trick that's perfect for when you just need to enter a few individual numbers with leading zeros. This is often referred to as the apostrophe trick, and it's a simple way to tell Excel to treat whatever you type in that cell as text. To use this trick, simply select the cell where you want to enter your number with leading zeros. Before you type the number, type a single apostrophe. You'll see the apostrophe appear in the cell as you type. Immediately after the apostrophe, type your number, including the leading zeros. For instance, if you want to enter the number 007, you would type apostrophe 007 and then press the Enter key. And just like that, you'll see that Excel keeps those leading zeros. The number 007 is being displayed exactly as you typed it. You might also, though, notice a small green triangle that appears in the top left corner of that cell. This little indicator is Excel's way of telling you that the content in this cell is being stored as text, even though it looks like a number. In this case, that's exactly what we want. This method is particularly useful when you only need to enter a small number of specific identification numbers, codes, or any other numerical entries where those leading zeros are crucial and you don't want Excel to automatically remove them. For example, if you have a short list of specific order numbers or reference numbers that always start with one or more zeros, this trick is a fast way to enter them correctly. Now, it's really important to remember a key point about this method. When you enter a number with a leading apostrophe, Excel is treating it as text, not as a number. This does mean that you won't be able to directly use these values in mathematical functions or with functions that expect a numerical input. If you tried to sum these values, for example, they would likely just be ignored. So use this method primarily for display purposes or when you're dealing with identifiers that you don't need to perform calculations on. Our final method for today's video is especially helpful when you've already got data that includes leading zeros in another application, like a simple text editor, a word processing document, or perhaps another spreadsheet program where the formatting has been applied. And you want to be able to bring that into Excel without losing the leading zeros during the copy and paste process. First things first, in the application where your data with leading zeros is located, select the specific data that you want to bring into Excel. Once you've selected it, go ahead and copy it to your clipboard. Now switch over to your Excel workbook and navigate to the worksheet where you want to paste this data. Click on the specific cell where you want the top left corner of your pasted data to appear. This will be your starting point for the paste operation. With the starting cell selected, go ahead and right-click on it. This will bring up that context menu again. Look for the option that says Paste Special and give that a click. This will open up a new dialog box with various options for how you can paste your copied data. In the Paste Special dialog box, you'll see a section with different options under the heading As. We're specifically looking for the option that says Text. Scroll through the list if you need to until you find it, and then select Text. By choosing this option, you're instructing Excel to treat the data you're pasting as plain text, which is exactly what we need to preserve those leading zeros. Once you've selected text, go ahead and click the OK button. You should now see your data appear in the Excel spreadsheet, starting from the cell that you selected. And importantly, you'll notice that the leading zeros that were present in your original data have been preserved. Excel has pasted the information as plain text, so those leading zeros haven't been automatically removed. This is incredibly useful when you're working with data from various systems that are designed to output information with a specific formatting, including leading zeros. For example, if you've exported a report from a database or another software program that includes product codes or ID numbers with leading zeros, you can use Paste Special as text to bring that data into Excel for further analysis or manipulation without losing your crucial formatting. And that brings us to the end of my quick tutorial on adding leading zeros in Excel. Now it's your turn to put these methods into practice. Don't hesitate to experiment with the different techniques to find the ones that work best for your specific situations. Be sure to let me know which one was your favorite technique in the comments below, and I'll catch you in my next video. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to see more content like this, be sure to check out the channel, And if you like what you see, don't forget to hit that subscribe button.